Greetings to everyone world over in different countries, in different continents, in different time zones, wherever you are. First of all, my sincere apologies to you on 23rd of October at 29 minutes past 5 p.m. We were to start at 5 p.m. But ladies and gentlemen, technically, there are a couple of things which has to be taken into consideration for all of us. And technically, there are a couple of things which sometimes create unnecessary delays, which can be avoided if sometime the entire technology works your way. But well, that's the way during pandemic, during coronavirus, a lot of challenges are there. And one of the challenges is how to handle technical people, how to take care of your team, how to take care of everybody so that all the inputs which has to come from various sources from different directions that has to be put into perspective in a right. But in a very positive note, let's start a beautiful evening, all of us together. And I wish to share with all of you that today is a very, very special day. Although in our journey making education relevant, today is the 254th webinar, what we have taken into consideration right from 25th of March when the pandemic was declared and coronavirus took place and there was a complete lockdown. And we just thought of like doctors, nurses, paramedical people, they are doing wonderful job for the whole universe and they're the great warriors. Similar way, all teachers, trainers, educators, counselors, and technical people, those are in education fraternity, they also are the great warriors because 1.86 billion children at present are away from schools, colleges, universities, and institutions worldwide. So when we talk about that, ladies and gentlemen, these children need hand holding. And these children are with their parents. They are of different age groups. You can well imagine, right from the toddlers right to the grown up, how parents must be having a tough time. And at the same time, we love our children. But when we were sending them to schools, colleges, universities, institutions, it was altogether different. So today, we are starting a new series because during this entire pandemic, when we have taken this particular journey, although on 12th of August, there was a very special program. It was a World Youth Day. And that day, the Honorable Union State Minister for India for the Water Resources, he along with Madam Arushi Nishank Pant, the great environmentalist and social activist, the founder of Sparsh Ganga, they had come with the global fraternity and we had 200 youth. Those were from the world over with us on the World Youth Day. And that was on 12th of August when they shared their vision on this platform right over here in the evening at 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So during this entire journey, we realized one thing that the next crisis world over and next difficulty and next problem, what is going to come to the whole world in the ensuing months, ensuing years and coming times is going to be getting desirable, deserving water. Because water crisis is going to be a very deep crisis and there will be lots of misunderstanding world over and it can lead to any kind of an unrest. So thereby, ladies and gentlemen, importance of water management and saving every drop of water is very, very important for all of us world over, wherever we are. So in our ongoing series, Making Education Relevant, from today, every Friday in the evening, today I apologize, we are starting late, but from next Friday, 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time, you will have your special program that will be series on water related issue. This entire vision is coming from our advisor and our senior advisor, chief advisor, mentor, and a person who is helping the chamber in a great way. And he is going to moderate today's deliberations also. I'm just the initial anchor, but main technical deliberations will be conducted by Shri Anil MANOCHA ji, the Executive Director, Ion Exchange Asia Pacific, based out of Singapore. I extend him a very warm welcome, and along with him, we have got Mr. Dan Barron, who is the founder and the CEO, Newagri Asia Group from the United States. He'll be joining us live from there, and he also takes care of Philippines as well. And that's again ASEAN, which is next to our heart. Every Sunday, we have got a special program at 3 p.m. on ASEAN. Then we have got Mr. Madhukar Swambhuji. He is the head research and development, Vedico Economics. What a beautiful rhythmic he has got. Vedas also, cow also, economics also. So Vedico Economics, we extend him also very hearty welcome this evening. And very specially this evening, I'm grateful to Madam Arushi Nishank Pant. She is the founder Sparsh Ganga. She's an environmentalist and she's a social activist. She's doing a great, remarkable job, a very versatile personality. I'm going to say you name any kind of a social cause when we have got something to do related to water management, she's always there. She's very, very positive, very dynamic, very innovative, very creative, and always there to take initiative to do anything related to water management and water related issues. So this evening, we also extend a very hearty welcome because at present she is traveling. She has got such a location that from where she was having little disturbed signal and the bandwidth and the Wi-Fi. So she had been very kind to send a recorded message from there. Our blessings to her. She is very, very committed soul, and we are proud of her that young girls like her, women like her, they are doing great service to the humanity, to the society, and to the entire global fraternity. So, ladies and gentlemen, all of us together, let's start this wonderful journey. Every Friday evening, 5 p.m., we will have a special deliberation, confluence, podlocking, specialization, management, strategies, everything related to water, whatsoever is there. And it is not local, regional, national, it's a global, what we are talking about, the entire fraternity coming together in the ecosystem of importance of water management and innovative strategies. Now, I wish to quickly go over a couple of slides. If we do not live in harmony with nature, nature is not separate from us. Nature is the integral part of the humanity. The human being in the last 200 years have started thinking somewhere that economic gains and GDPs and whatsoever is there is more important. But whereas, ladies and gentlemen, do we want a left portion or do we want a right portion? Do we want to live in harmony with nature or do we want to destroy nature? Every plant species, every animal, every bird, everything on this planet has to be saved by all of us together if we want to have better tomorrow and if we want to have global peace. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to this particular journey. Our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, since 1994, is in the global service, the confluence of the non-resident Indians. And let me share with all of you, initially in India, there used to be a Punjabi Parvasi Divas. Every January, that is on 13th of January, coinciding with the Lohri festival, in Punjab, there used to be a confluence of Punjabis And then in 2003, I still recall and recollect when a delegation from our chamber and other dignitaries from Ministry of External Affairs and a couple of other ambassadors, all of us we called on for a cup of tea to then Honorable Prime Minister of India. And he was a great visionary. And he made a mention over there. It's very good that you people are doing Punjabi Parvasi Divas. It's very good. It's very nice. But I personally feel that the world and particularly India can do more and world needs more service from India. So there he gave the vision of Bharatiya Parvasi Divas, and that was 2003. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the birth. And he mentioned, when do you celebrate this? So very proudly, all of us, we mentioned 13th of January. He said, great, keep going ahead with your Lodi festival. Let's celebrate this on 9th of January because Mahatma Gandhi ji returned from South Africa to India on 9th of January. What could have been a better day than Mahatma Gandhi as an NRI coming back to India? And that was the birth of Bharatiya Parvasi Divas. And ladies and gentlemen, now you have got vibrant Gujarat, vibrant Telangana, vibrant Rajasthan, vibrant Karnataka, vibrant Andhra, vibrant Tamil Nadu. Everything is vibrant. So thereby, when the vibrations are moving ahead, there are 30 million non-resident Indians world over in different countries doing great job, great service. During this lockdown, the thought processes are affected, business is deeply affected, physical and mental health is affected, and the main part of the universe is education is deeply affected. From India, we always say, Vasudev Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Your pain is our pain. Your pleasure is our pleasure. Let's live in peace and let everybody live peacefully. Let's respect each other. Heartiest congratulations to Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and also to the Education Minister of India, Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji, and all the stakeholders, Secretary Higher Education, Secretary School Education, and all the officers, those are associated, and everybody together, all of them. We wish to share, we want to congratulate from our chamber, all of you, this new education policy having been announced on 29th of July in the evening is going to bring phenomenal and a remarkable change world over once it gets implemented. Imagine the coding coming from the sixth standard and thereafter vocational, skills, competency. Children from sixth class onward going for internship, going to the corporate houses, no arts, no commerce, no science. Asha Bhosle ji, the great singer of India, she rang up the other day the ministries and she congratulated the government of India and she said, I'm so happy that now the science student can take music and commerce student can take fashion designing. Wow, that's the great thing which is on the way and this is getting implemented and 100 best institutions of the world going to see their campuses coming up in India on the soil of India. So ladies and gentlemen, our initiative on the water conservation during lockdown, the series which we are starting, we have already done a couple of programs. We have done a program on 5th of June, that's on the World Environment Day. Thereafter, we have done on 12th of August, that's the World Youth Day. And just 3-4 days back, we have done two programs, which is very, very deeply done with Ram Gopal Verma ji. And both the programs are, one is in Punjabi and one is in Hindi to reach out the entire masses, which we have done. This program we are having in English because we are having a global fraternity from the world over those are joining for this particular program. Now, women empowerment is another initiative from our chamber because sustainable development number goal 4 is education and 5th is gender equality. So we are doing lots of programs and we are focusing on women empowerment. Our chamber is live from morning 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, 12 hours. We get into the service of all of you. So International Chamber for Service Industry extends you our services complimentary wherever you are world over. Should you need any kind of a support in your education ecosystem, do let us know. We would be more than happy. This is what we set up, a beautiful etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, articulation, personality development, communication skills, critical thinking, analytical thinking. logical thinking, image management. And when you talk about customer care, customer delight, amaze the customer, sales, marketing, digital marketing, everything being taken care of right over here for every child. Any child coming over here, irrespective what background you are from, within 6 months, there is a transformation because whosoever has come on this planet, nature has bestowed some hidden qualities in them, and the teachers have to extract them and to take it out. Sector skill councils, 38 sector skill councils in India. We are deeply associated. They are doing a great job. And I wish to share with all of you that from Monday, that is coming Monday, 26th of October, that is just today is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday onward. There's a 1 month journey we are starting with Media Entertainment Skill Council of India, radio, television, theater, music, films, animation, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, blockchain, Internet of Things, anything you can think of. And when you talk about backdrop designing, sound, light, music, special effects, every skill we are going to discuss of the media entertainment for all the youth because they are the future, and we are going to make media entertainment as an integral part of the education ecosystem in India. Every Saturday evening, we take you all the way to Chicago. That is on 11th of September, 1893, when Swami Vivekananda ji delivered a historic kind of, the speech over there. And till date, I recall and I think about it, what must have happened 127 years back when a gentleman in the saffron turban, when he just made a mention, sisters and brothers of the world, and everybody rose on their seats. Arise, awake, stop not, till the goal is reached. Something remarkable must have happened. And then comes Saturday evening, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, organic. Your wellness we talk about. No anxiety, no stress, no depression, no problems, no difficulties, positive, positive, positive. Think positive, talk positive, live positive, walk positive. And every Sunday morning, we take you all the way to Hollywood, right in front of Universal Studios. Open the gate of Universal Studios, right in front, the Woodbury University, California, Burbank, 75 kilometers away from Los Angeles Airport. Professor Satinder Dhiman comes live and he talks about Srimad Bhagavad Gita and India's Upanishad. What is their relevance in today's education system in India? Remarkable. This series, people are speechless in the morning at 9:30. This gentleman, when he is giving the anecdotes from there. Okay. Then comes Sunday evening, 650 million population, all the way in the ASEAN region when we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, all of us together over there, 3 o'clock in the evening Indian Standard Time, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, all of them together, education, skills, tourism, research, innovation, wellness, micro, small and medium enterprise, and the entire northeast part of India to which Indian Prime Minister calls Ashta Lakshmi. That is your Tripura, your Manipur, your Assam, your Meghalaya, your Nagaland, your Sikkim, your Arunachal, and your Mizoram, all the 8 beautiful states over there. And that is your micro, small, and medium enterprise. The last program of the Sunday under the dynamic and dedicated leadership of Rabindranath Ji, the CMD of the NSIC. So this is the complete confluence. And right over here, you see Friday, 5 to 6 p.m., water management and conservation, the program which starts today. And this is the research from our chamber, what we have carried out from 25th of March onward. The world has to get into an order. It has to be a sustainable development. B2B, no more business to business. It's back to basics. Your basic food, water, and whatsoever is required over there, organic. Second is your health. Third is your education, that is learn and earn. Do a part-time job. Sustainable development. So ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It's possible. All of us, we can achieve our dream, whatsoever we have got. If today, all of us together, we take a pledge, we are going to save every drop of water. It's very much possible. and that's what we share. This evening, when I talk about Arushi ji, the chief guest this evening, with special guest, who is the co-founder and the chairperson of Sparsh Ganga. Arushi ji, when I talk about Arushi Nishank, she is a personality carrying multiple skills, accomplishments, capabilities, proficiencies, and elegance. She established herself as the inspiration for the youth of the country, although she is the daughter of the Honorable Minister of Education, Government of India. She has established her own identity in diverse fields by her own talents and caliber. She is an internationally acclaimed Indian classical Kathak, the exponent. She's a wonderful dancer, and she took all the kind of teachings and learnings in that Padma Vibhushan Pandit Birju Maharaj ji. Arushi ji is a co-founder and a chairperson of Sparsh Ganga campaign, which was started in 2008 to promote awareness among people to save and clean river Ganges. In the year 2018, Arushi Nishank chaired International Women Empowerment Program in Dubai. In 2019, Arushi Nishanti was featured in Forbes Middle East as Powerful Girl for her contribution for social work and women empowerment, and her profile were also included in Superb 100 Next Generation. Arushi Nishank, she also got actively involved in the International Environment Summit as a chairperson, which is a collective effort of Government of India and the Government of UAE, United Arab Emirates. Arushi ji, she has been long associated with Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. That means women empowerment, and every girl has to be given proper education, and we got to save every girl child. Arushi also published two books, that is Dharti Swarg Banaungi and Kalam Mashal Banjai in India. Arushi Nishankji established her own production house named Himshri Production. For her excellence, she has been awarded for a number of times. On 12th of August, on the World Youth Day, she was with us. And now also she is busy. She is planning to produce a film. She's working onto that particular project. We are proud of her. We wish there are many more like Arushi Nishankpan, and they are the proud of India, and we all are proud her globally. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Anil MANOCHA ji, the head of the Ion Exchange Asia Pacific, based out of Singapore. Mr. Anil ji, he is based out of Singapore, is an experienced professional in water and waste management. Now, both the areas are very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. The other day, you heard Harshvardhan ji, and he was also on to energy to the waste management. He was talking about how to produce energy. So Anil MANOCHA ji, he's on to water and waste management. He's an executive director with the Ion Exchange Asia Pacific Private Limited. He comes with the rich professional experience of 35 years working with the various stakeholders in Asia, Middle East, Africa, and other parts of the world. He actively works with the communities, industry technology partners, government, financial institutions in offering practical solutions for water treatment, water conservation, wastewater treatment, zero liquid discharge and infrastructure. Mr. Anil MANOCHA holds a degree in mechanical engineering and is associated with the various chambers like CII, FICCI, and now he will be heading basically as head of the ICSI for water and waste management. He is also associated with the Singapore Water Association, India Business Forum, Trade Organization, and many more. We extend a very hearty welcome to Mr. Anil MANOCHA this evening, having joined us. Mr. Dan Barron, who is joining us all the way from United States. He's the founder and the CEO, Nuagri Asia Group, USA and Philippines, a New Yorker, a long-term resident in Philippines now and in Southeast Asia. Dan Barron has over 30 years of experience in food industry with adoption of the water conservation technologies, coconut and food processing, fruits processing industry focused towards off-grid resilience, and waste minimization. Acted as CEO, president, board member, and co-founder of three food and beverage enterprise, 20 years as founder and CEO of a startup company, now with $100 million annual revenue and more than 30,000 in-store retail distribution points across the US, served on executive committee, Tree Nut Council, through Nuagri Asia, a company he co-founded in the Philippines. Mr. Dan Barron is extensively working in developing multi-fruit processing projects in Philippines, Indonesia, and India in collaboration with US technology partners. We extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Dan Barron for having joined us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Madhukar Swambuji, Head Research and Development, Vedic Economics Private Limited. Mr. Madhukar, and he nurtures his passion of integrating environment, ecology, Vedic sciences, Sanskrit, and Indic knowledge to profession and promotes ecology alive in soil, water, and air with technology called economics. He is a seasoned professional with over 20 years of experience with a zeal for technical sales, cherishing the work of creating technical edge in the solution offerings. Mr. Madhukarji, he has been awarded by Jal Shakti Mantralaya as Water Hero. He has been in the top 3 authors in the global ranking of Spanish Smart Water magazine. He has restored over 10 standing and flowering water bodies across the country. Their case studies have been published on the front page of the newspapers and covered in prime time of TV news and have delivered talks in various management institutes, including NIFTEM and the global platform of TED. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's really a proud privilege that he is with us this evening. When we talk about organic ways of development of raw food industry, including farming, agriculture, cash crops and horticulture, dairy, A2 and dry dairy, fishery, zero fertilizer, fish farming, poultry, chemicals, antibiotics, and hormone-free, uncaged farming of hens, roosters, quails, ducks, and pigeons, etc. Goat farming, goats, sheep, pigs, etc. To make the raw food industry free from chemicals, pesticide, insecticides, and fertilizer, antibiotics, hormones, and pharmaceuticals, making it natural, eco-friendly, and healthy. To help farmers to grow more and grow healthy, earn more, and live a life of abundance. So hearty welcome to Mr. Madhukar Swambuji. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, my team is now going to play a small video, and thereafter we will go with Anil MANOCHA ji.
Hello, namaskar, good evening to everyone. I am Arushi Nishank. I am an international Kathak exponent, movie producer, social activist, and an entrepreneur. And today I want to congratulate to all of you, especially to Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji and the whole body and all the members from ICSI who all are organizing this special event talking about the water conservation. And I am very glad that in today's time when water become utmost important resource, because we all know that if ever there will be a World War III, it will be on water. And trust me, we're not exaggerating the fact. It may be true, and it becoming true and more true every single day, because in many cities in India like Chennai and Bangalore are going through the zero groundwater. And if I talk about the whole world, there are 790 million people still don't have access to clean drinking water. So we all can understand that how big problem this is right now and becoming big and bigger every single day. So, yes, we're not talking only about the problem, we talk about the solution too. And being associated with the Sparsha Ganga Abhiyan and Namami Gange also, which is started by our dear Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And Sparsha Ganga is working from 2009 for not only India, even in many other countries also. We making people aware about our clean water bodies, our Ganga ji, and all the tributaries are connected to Ma Ganga ji. So yes, we are in a very good strength and we keep working for it. And just a small message to all of you, we do not need to wait for something very big to happen. We can just start within ourselves, from our home. We all know that charity begins from home. So all the people listening me out today, let's begin this journey to save water, which is a very, very important resource, from ourselves, from our home only. We all use AquaGuard, and 30% of that pure clean water we use, 70% goes waste. So I request from all of you, we will start from this small initiative that we going to reutilize that 70% waste of our AquaGuard water. We can use it for washing dishes, we can use it for giving water to plants and many other things. We all are very creative, especially we Indian have been very creative for using our resources again and again. And again, I want to congratulate all of you, and sorry for not being connected to you on this webinar, but sending you all my best wishes from this video, and certainly looking forward to join you very next time. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Rather, namaskar, because we are all from different time zones. First of all, thank you, Madam Arushi, for endorsing this important event, and also Gulshan ji for anchoring this deliberations. And hopefully, in next 8 or 9 sessions, we will bring a lot of issues related to water. As we have already said, that water is not a simple subject, and despite the planet Earth, which has more than 72% of water, we all are still facing the issues of water shortage. The issues have become so severe that we have started talking water security as a issue, and we are also started discussing whether probably the next war will be on water. Water today is a economy, is a driver of economy, and it becomes very important that all of us sensitize the importance of water. During our deliberations of next 8 weeks, we will be bringing speakers who will share their knowledge of how they overcome the solutions. We'll be getting speakers from ASEAN region who will be speaking about Mekong River Delta. We'll be having speakers from South Africa who will talk about the Cape Town water crisis. We'll have speakers who will talk about Singapore success water story. We'll have people from Israel who will talk how Israel moved from a water-starved nation to a water exporting nation, and today more than 60% of their agriculture crop is exported. So we will be discussing all those concepts, and also we'll be getting some live examples like of Phnom city water, where a organization like local municipality which was bleeding from all fronts. Water was bleeding, people are not getting water, the money was bleeding, the organization was bleeding, and people were not getting even water 5 minutes. A country in a city in Cambodia was able to transform the municipality in such a fashion that today in Phnom Penh city you go, the NRW is lowest in the world, and the city gets 24/7 water. So we'll be discussing all those cases. We also will be discussing the cases in India. India is also doing a lot of work in water space, and there are a lot of success stories within India. We have examples like Malkapur city, where you have 24/7 water available. This city is in a Satara district, and which is providing water to 65,000 people 24/7. We also have an example of Alandur, where we have a PPP participation in sewage treatment, the complete city township of 300,000 odd people. 100% sewage is treated so PPP mode. So we'll be having various such examples, and probably we'll deliberate it in next seminars. Today, since we are already late, I will not like to talk more, and I am drifting away from my normal speech. So let me straight away go to Madhukar. Madhukar is passionate about offering ecological solutions and bring in the concepts of clean air, clean water, revival and restoration of standing and flowing water bodies across the country. He also works passionately in organic ways of farming, dairy, poultry. He will share his knowledge and bring to our attention that sustainable development is possible and it is profitable when people align themselves to nature and they realize that they can coexist together. So let us hear from Madhukar, and then probably if we have time, we'll deliberate or we'll deliberate at the end once Dawn has made his deliberation. Over to you, Madhukar.
Thank you, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
So, should I straight away go with the presentation?
yes, please.
Dr. Gulshan was talking about Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, and you were talking about sustainability and water wars and whatnot. So, my entire idea of sustainability is like Dr. Sir was talking about B2B is back to basics. So, what is the basic? The basic is, uh, I mean, for me, it is Vedic science, but for other peoples also, I mean, anybody living on this planet, this beautiful planet which we call as home, is the basic source of life on this planet is the five key elements. That is soil, water, and air. The other two elements are probably not experienced by the people or not absorbed by the people. One is what we call as the efforts, that is what we call as the fire element, and the fifth element is coming in from outside of this planet, which is the cosmic energy in form of the sunlight, right? So primarily we're going to talk about all these five key elements of life and how do they affect life. But let me structure my thoughts into the presentation. So let me share the screen first. So everybody can see the screen now.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes,
And Madhukarji, with your permission and Manchanda ji's permission, can I make just one announcement?
Yeah, please
sure,
do,
please.
sir.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's a large galaxy which has joined on the YouTube Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page. I would make a humble request to you. The forum has been set. Everything has been given the foundation by Mr. Manchanda. Kindly post your comments on the YouTube. If you have got any strategy, any suggestion, anything you would like to tell on water saving, water crisis, water management, water strategy, because I can see a huge population galaxy on the YouTube. So kindly participate actively, because मैं तो मधुकर जी के नाम से ही प्रभावित हो गया हूँ, जो इनकी कंपनी का नाम है। और वैसे भी ये मैं शंभू नहीं जानता कि स्वयंभू कहूँ, और जितना इन्होंने वैदिक का, इकोनॉमिक्स का, so many things, I would say it's a mind blowing. Manchanda ji, my compliments to you to bring Mr. Madhukar Swambhuji on this platform with us. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So, as the topic for today's discussion is Jal Sanrakshan, so Sanrakshan is primarily saving, but then what exactly do you get out of saving is what I'm going to talk about. Uh, the topic of my presentation is economics of ecology. Normally, people take environmental protection as an expense head. Actually, it is not, because whatever economic enterprise we have on this planet, whatever man-made economic enterprise we have, for everything and anything, the raw material is coming out of the environment, out of the nature, out of the three elements, that is soil, water, and air. From mining to agriculture, from aircraft manufacturing to your computer hardware, everything has got a raw material which is sourced out of these natural resources. right? So if we keep the cycle on, it will be a recession free entrepreneurship, and how it is done is what I'm going to explain. But before that, we need to understand what is the natural system. So this is this is the start point, wherein we need to understand what is a natural water body. So bottom is earth, bottom is soil, then we have water, and then we have air. Now it looks static in case of a pond or a lake. In case of a river, it is always moving, but it is actually not a static water body, because there is a consistent exchange happening with the earth layer and with the atmospheric layer. And this is why nature has created water bodies. As Mr. Manocha has said, that 72% of the planet is water, but that water is not usable. There is only 1% of the total water which is usable by the human being, which is the sweet water. And where is the sweet water? That is in these water bodies, whether it is river, lake, or pond. And this is the source of water abundance or water crisis, not the water that we have in the oceans, not the marine water, not the brackish water, not the saline water. It is only these landlocked water bodies where we have the sweet water, which is usable by all the terrestrial animals and the human beings. So why it is in a particular condition is what I'm going to explain here. Number one is, there is a bottom exchange of water, there is a vertical movement of water between the underground aquifer and the surface water body. There are soil capillaries. These capillaries are formed naturally for exchange of water between the surface water body and the bottom aquifer. Then there is an exchange which is happening with the air. Every water body is doing photosynthesis. More than 50% of the atmospheric oxygen on the planet is emitted by the water bodies. So every water body designed by nature is a blue carbon sink, wherein it is doing carbon sequestration, absorbing the greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, doing photosynthesis, and emitting oxygen. So a water body in a natural condition is doing carbon sequestration and oxygenating the atmosphere. Then the top surface of the water body is negatively charged, so it will attract all the particulate matter from the atmosphere and do the air pollution mitigation naturally. This is how nature has designed water bodies. Now within the water body, this is the exchange happening with the atmospheric layer and with the earth layer. Now within the water body also, there is a food chain. Like we would have studied the terrestrial food chain in the jungle. There are single celled organisms which are eaten by planktons, which are again eaten by the fishes and more complex organism, excreta of which is ammonia, which is again neutralized by the single celled organism. So this is the entire natural state of a water body. Now this water body gets contaminated naturally also. Like whenever there is a, let's say, volcanic eruption, there is a lot of particulate matter in the air. All that is to be absorbed by the water body, so the pressure on the water body increases. Whenever there is any kind of a seismic activity, the aquatic organism excrete too much. Their excreta is ammonia, so that ammonification leads to eutrophication of the water body, right? So that is again a contamination. But whenever such kind of stuff happens, nature has got its own cure. Nature will create weeds. Wheat will absorb the excess of nitrate, phosphates, and sulfates, and they will die their own death because their food is now finished. So they will sink in the water and they will again be decomposed like any other biological waste. But now enters human beings with our consistent supply of sewage and industrial effluent and whatever we do. In last 100 years, we have changed our lifestyle like anything. We are using chemicals in almost everything in our life. And where are these chemicals going? We are washing everything with water. So water has become a de facto waste transport medium for us. Now, where will this entire water go? This will go into the water bodies. So water bodies have a consistent supply of sewage and effluent. Now, this is very rich in nitrogen compounds and phosphorus compounds, phosphates and sulfates and all that. So all that is coming into the water body, and this will naturally create water weeds. So weeds will come, but unfortunately, weeds will never grow because the natural process is restricted by a consistent addition of sewage and effluent. So which will come and they'll flourish and they'll cover the entire surface. Now, when the entire surface is covered, the sunlight will get restricted to enter into the water body, because of which the process of photosynthesis within the water will get restricted and the production of oxygen will stop. Now, this leads to the decay of the water body. First, the top layer is covered with the weeds. Then the oxygen production is stopped, whereas oxygen demand is increasing because of the effluent and the sewage coming in on a regular basis. So biological oxygen demand and the chemical oxygen demand is increasing. The suspended and the dissolved solid levels of the water is increasing, and ultimately it will settle down as the bottom layer of sludge, which means the soil capillaries are also choked. Now the water is captivated between the bottom layer of sludge and the top layer of weeds. So the decay process starts. Now, as Dr. Gulshan was talking about uh, the the global lockdown and the rivers getting cleaner, why it was happening is because every water body has got a self-cleaning mechanism. But the self-healing mechanism has been surpassed by our overproduction of pollution. So during the global lockdown, people were there at home. So every human being is creating two kinds of pollution. One is the domestic and one is the industrial. Because when we go to our office, we are creating, we doing whatever economic activity, because of which we are wasting water. So that is the industrial effluent. And at home also, we are producing sewage on a consistent basis. Every human being is generating 33 liters of sewage on a daily basis, right? So sewage production had not stopped, but still the water body started getting cleaned because that was within the permissible limits of the self-healing mechanism of water, right? So our entire technology in economics is basically resuscitation of the native ecology in soil, water, and air, which means whatever is our level of pollution generation, we need to match that with the self-healing capacity of water. All the water cleaning technologies across the globe are basically working on one um, uh, philosophy, that any kind of wastewater is about 95% pure water and 5% contamination. So we physically remove this contamination and 95% is pure. Whereas the self-healing mechanism of the aqua ecology says nothing is to be physically removed, everything is to be consumed and digested. So what we are doing into the carbonomics technology is increasing the metabolic rate of the aqua ecology, due to which this entire pollution is consumed and digested. The layer of sludge is gone, the layer of weed is gone, and the photosynthesis process restarts. So how do we do it? It's very simple. For any water body, we need to do a study, because this is based on Vedic science, and Vedic science says every water body is a different individual case. So you need to focus on the water body because it is in a different agroclimatic zone. The water chemistry, soil chemistry, air chemistry, the physical condition of the water temperature, the biodiversity of the wetland, everything will vary. So you need to first study the water body and then make a concentrate. The concentrate is 100% herbal. Now, the ingredients of the concentrate will vary from one water body to another water body. And this concentrate, which is a liquid concentrate, all herbal, is made and then it is diluted into fresh water, and this diluted concentrate is released into the water body. So once it is released into the water body, there are a lot of changes on the physical level, the chemical level, and the biological level. So when this happens, when here you can see the concentrate being poured into the water body. Now I have shown it as if it is spraying, but it is not supposed to be sprayed. It is just have to be poured into the water body at any one point. Whether the water body is 1 acre or 1,000 acre doesn't matter. So when it is poured into the water body gets supplied with millions and millions of electrons. Now these electrons, when they reach the molecule of a phosphate or a sulfate, the electron exchange happens, and the decomposition, the chemical decomposition will happen, which means a single atom of phosphorus or sulfur will separate from four atoms of oxygen. This oxygen will get into the dissolved oxygen level. So the oxygen, the dissolved oxygen level will go up, and when the production is beyond the holding capacity of the dissolved oxygen level, then there will be an effervescence on the top surface of the water body, which will create a bubble on the top surface. This bubble will eventually get punctured when it exceeds the tensile strength of the surface, and this puncture or a hole will create a space for the sunlight to re-enter into the water body to restart the process of photosynthesis. Now this is happening at the chemical level. Now at a physico-biological level, what is happening is every electron has got a charge of 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Now this charge gives a shock to the single-celled organism, the native microbiota of the wetland, which includes the microbes in the soil and the microbes in the water. These are the native microbes which had gone dormant because the oxygen level had depleted even below the sustainable limits. So when they come back to life, they start doing their activity. Only thing that they need is oxygen to breathe, so the DO level is high, so they get enough oxygen to breathe, and the single atom of phosphorus or sulfur which was separated from a phosphate or a sulfate molecule is their food, so they'll start eating also. So their decomposition process will lower down the suspended and the dissolved solid, which means the consumption of phosphate, nitrates and sulfate is happening by the single celled organism. That means the food for the weed is gone, so the top surface will get cleared, the mosquitoes will disappear, the foul smell will go because the anaerobic digestion is not happening. So this is how the water body gets restored to its natural best condition, which means now the water body is doing carbon sequestration also. Now the water body is also doing the rainwater harvesting and the aquifer recharge. So primarily the water body is back to its native condition, and when the water body is back to its native condition, it is creating a microclimate, which means the soil, the water and the air, all three of them are there in the natural condition. Now this is the technology. Now how it affects the life of the people, how it creates an entrepreneurial opportunity, and why it is recession free is what I'm going to explain next in the application side. So the application from the government perspective, if you look at it, it is the source for the urban development. This is the source for the rural development. This is the source for the water resources, or we have the Jal Shakti Mantralaya in India. This is the source for agriculture, animal husbandry, smart cities, and disaster management. Now, how all these applications are linked just to ecology, just to soil, water, and air, or I would say water bodies, is what I'm going to explain next. So let us begin with the landscape, the rural and the urban landscape, which are the key concerns for any country. And I'm primarily going to focus my discussion towards India, but every country can relate to it. So let's start with the urban problem. Now, there are five key challenges for almost all the cities. Manocha Saab just listed a few, starting from Cape Town to Cambodia. We don't know what to do with the sewage. Sewage is a puzzle so far for us. All the water bodies are in the decay process. I explained you the process. Every city is fighting air pollution. There is a drinking water scarcity across the globe, and the aquifer is getting depleted. So these are the five key challenges of any urban place in the world. And these are all being created because of disturbance beyond a point with the ecology, right? How it can be solved is, as I said, water body rejuvenation is the process of resuscitation of the native ecology through which the pollution is to be consumed and digested, not physically removed. So which means officially you can put all the sewage into the water bodies. Water bodies are treated, and once the water bodies are treated, whatever sewage is coming in is getting consumed in the aqua ecology. The same water body is doing air pollution mitigation by attracting all the particulate matter to the top surface, because the top surface is negatively charged and particulate matter is positively charged, right? And the same water is rejuvenated to the extent of a natural spring water. So you can just do the basic treatment and you can use the water for drinking purpose. And the same water body is also doing the aquifer recharge. Now, the same water can also be used for the purpose of horticulture, for the purpose of agriculture and whatnot, right? So just one water body is capable of solving multiple problem, multi-dimensional problem, and all your black water is getting converted into a usable water, right? And for this, everything is being done by nature. We are just increasing the appetite of the aqua ecology to consume and digest whatever amount of pollution we are generating in terms of the liquid pollution. For the solid waste management, I guess Manocha sir would be a better judge, because we don't deal with the solid waste management. But as far as the liquid waste is concerned, that would no more be a waste, because everything will get consumed in the aqua ecology itself. Now, moving on to the rural landscape. Here again, as I said, I'm going to focus on India. That is why the farmer that you see is carrying a rupee in form of the hull. Now, rural India has got certain key challenges as derailed economy, unsustainable livelihood. Farmers are under distress, water crisis there in terms of drinking and irrigation water. There is a almost an exodus to the urban landscape, which is creating the need for the smart cities. And why this is happening is because of the reasons listed above: the derailed economy, unsustainable livelihood, and the farm distress. And again, a new kind of crisis is getting cropped up, that no farmer wants his next generation to take farming as a career. So this, if if it is grown out of the proportion, then it will be a major food crisis across the country, right? So we need to solve this jigsaw puzzle as well. And again, the road to the solution is via water. So how it happens is, the moment all the water bodies in rural India is restored and the water is rejuvenated, the same water can be used for animal husbandry also. The same water can be used for farming, agriculture, horticulture also, and without any chemicals, without any organics, without any insecticide, pesticide, or fertilizer, without any antibiotics or hormones, you get extremely good yield in terms of quality and quantity. So the livelihood is sustainable. Your rural economy is back on track. The farmer distress is finished because the input cost is reduced, and the output in terms of yield, in terms of quality and quantity, has increased. So obviously your profitability goes up, because your input is reduced and your produce is increased, right? So the exodus will stop. The same water can be used for drinking purpose as well. And obviously, when the farming is a profitable business, the farmer would definitely love his next generation to get back into farming. So that is how all these problems are linked with water. And as Dr. Gulshan said, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, there is a link in this entire world. There is a natural linkage. And what is that linkage? This linkage itself is water, because every human being has got 72% of his body as water. We've got the planet 72% as water. If there is no water in the soil, you cannot grow even a single crop. If there is no water, though no humidity in the air, we cannot even breathe. So water is the binding element. We are all the manifestations of nature, and as long as water is there, everybody will be able to thrive, life will exuberate. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the astronauts, when they go and explore other planets, the very possibility of life is dependent on whether there is water or not. So that is the importance of water, which we unfortunately have forgotten on our own planet. And the best thing that goes into our favor is not even a single drop of water has gone outside this planet. So whatever water was there on this planet 10,000 years back or 1 lakh years back, the same amount of water is still there. We have just added our sewage, we have just added our effluent to make the water contaminated. And the moment we restore the native ecology, the entire water will be back to normal. So that's the only hope that we have. And Vedic science has got a solution, because soil, water, and air are not dead substances, they are living ecology. As long as we continue to treat them as dead substances, that soil is dirt and water is H2O and air is mix of gases, things will not get back to normal. We need to, in order to go sustainable, we need to respect the native ecology, we need to respect the biodiversity, and that's what I have to say. So if anybody has any questions, you can please ask.
Thank you.
We can take afterwards.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Madhukar, for exposing all of us to
Thank you, sir.
the concept of native ecology. We understood from you the basic 5 elements for our survival. We also understood, or rather got sensitized, that water plays a very important role for soil, air, water combination. And also, once we have a clean water and once we are able to improve the rural economy, we can avoid the mitigation of people migrating from rural to urban. Our second speaker, Dan, is also talking similar concepts, but in a different manner. He is going to share with us his knowledge on how his technologies can improve the economy of rural by technology interface. So he has got some solutions where you can use the crop or you can use the fruits for better purposes. And let us give a floor to Don and let him explain to us what he has to talk about empowering the rural community and helping the people to increase their livelihood. Over to you, Don. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anil. Dr. Gulshan, Mr. MANOCHA, thank you for having me. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Absolutely. Crystal clear.
Okay.
Wonderful. It appears you're just next
Very
to
good.
us.
Very good. Very good. Okay, thank you. First of all, just to be clear, I am here in the Philippines. I am not in the USA. I am American. However, I am in the Philippines. My wife, my kids are all Philippines. We are here many years. We're here because there's so many things that can be fixed, so many things to do, so many projects that can be availed. As you know, Anil, that can be done in the Philippines. Philippines is awash with projects that can be done to better the livelihoods and better what's going on here in the Philippines. So there's lots to do here, and I love it here. So I will share a screen in a moment for my presentation. But I will talk very quickly about the previous presentation from Madhukar. My comment is that there are many ways to skin a cat, right? So the production of water, the filtration of water, the ionization of water, the treatment of water is varied, it's multivariate. The way that I'm going to discuss water is going to be within the context of food and energy production. It is going to be regarding food security, farmer security, food and water production. Our method of producing water is dependent on eating up the sewage that Mr. Madhukar has referenced in his presentation. The water production, the energy production, the steam production for our project, for our food processes are The feedstock for that is effluent waste, any effluent waste. It could be seawater, it could be rainwater, it can be river water, it can be sewage, it can be solid waste if that's what you want to do, as long as there's some hydrogen involved. Water can be created through a very interesting process. So we can talk about that process. We can talk about the absolute voluminous discharge of water that we can create, even from very little bit, a very small amount of effluent waste. So we can go over this. I will share my screen and we can go about this. Okay. So can we see this presentation at this point?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Very good. Okay, if you can see my screen, I'll be brief about the food portion and the details on the technology, and I'll try to focus primarily, because this is a water event, on how water is imperative to our production and our process.
Yeah. Could I make a request if you can increase the size down below? If you just click over there, the size will get increased and people will be able to view it better. Yes. Yes.
And how about this? Better?
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Sure. Our projects are humanitarian projects. These projects have deep roots in the eradication of poverty for the Filipino farmer. Our projects basically are numerous here in the Philippines. We are also working on projects in Africa, also projects in India and Indonesia. So these are projects that are intended to be sustainable. In fact, they perform to the 12 sustainable goals, and they also are able to create the sustainable livelihoods in the local communities. So this is our project, Project AgriChain. Now, what we are is a multifaceted estate of food production, food trading, food and beverage storage through frozen, refrigerated, dry storage areas. Through our energy capacity, we are able to be off-grid and completely sustainable for power, waste remediation, water creation, and steam creation. Therefore, our estate is able then to create an infrastructure for many locators to avail. Okay. Our project AgriChain, which we're building here already in the Philippines, is a 25 to 30 hectare estate designed to process all farm products, which is fruits and vegetables primarily, under 3 main formats: liquid, frozen, and dried. I will go into those later. They seem relatively easy, but the technologies that we have are quite intricate. Part of our estate project is also what they call here in the Philippines called bagsakan, but it is basically a B2B type of trading post for farmers and traders to work with local businesses trading the produce. Why we integrate this with our manufacturing is so that the farmers have a method to sell either immediately or later on to either the existing consumers of the fruits and vegetables, or for further processing so that they can get the better amount of dollars for their product. Our estate also has, like I said, a complete off-grid, standalone, independent energy source, water source, and waste remediation source. So we'll go over that in a moment. The estate will provide approximately 2,000 jobs in the local community, and this is a means for the farmers to participate as equity shareholders in this project. Our processing center is basically a technology haven. So what we have done is brought some fantastic technologies in food processing together under one roof. The first one that we're doing is an IQF, or frozen process. This frozen process will allow for IQF processing of fruits and vegetables at -65°C. Now, you ask why that might be important. First of all, it's very different than any IQF process that you can find. Most IQF process at about -40, ours is about -65. Why is this important? When you look cellular at the fruits and vegetables, at any cell, you will find that during a slower freezing process at about -40, the water activity within the cell begins to create ice crystals. These ice crystals at that slower rate tend to puncture the cell walls. So when you defrost the frozen product, you have a puncture in the cell walls which bleed water and turn the fruit or vegetable cells a grayish color. Our -65°C process is so fast in freezing that the crystallization, the ice crystals, are not able to form spikes and puncture the cell walls. Therefore, when you defrost whatever your fruit or vegetable is, it is basically unidentifiable from fresh. This is a very amazing new technology, one that we're very happy to share with you and anybody viewing this program. Number two is this is a liquid processing plant. So we have two main liquid processing. We are the exclusive representatives of a UHT product from JCS Corporation in the US, where this is a both a tubular and a plate process for processing UHT beverages. Now, there's lots of technology behind this, and I'm happy to answer any questions regarding this. The second and more important technology is called MST, which is called millisecond technology. Basically what this does is it takes any juice, any dairy, any type of, in fact, it's already being used for dairy, but we're using it for juice, coconut water, that type of thing. And this is able to take that liquid and disperse it into micro droplets, pull a negative vacuum on those micro droplets, flash it about 10 degrees in just a millisecond. And what happens is exactly the opposite of HPP, where you put 80,000 PSI onto your liquid in order to try to kill your microorganisms. Instead, we do the exactly opposite. We pull a vacuum instead of push the pressure. We pull the vacuum on these micro droplets, and we create a 7 to 10 log kill on these micro droplets. What that basically means, this MST then heats the liquid only to about 54 degrees C. At that temperature, you can still consider it as raw. It is not heated, it is not pasteurized. It does not achieve a 72 or 73 degrees pasteurization level. So where we specialize, for example, in coconut water, our water now is basically deemed raw. It is never heated through typical HDST pasteurization to 72 degrees. So what we end up having is zero denaturing of the proteins. We're able to, the water then tastes exactly as if it is extracted from the nut, right from the tree. There is no difference in taste, which creates a burnt or a caramelized taste. It's really quite an amazing product. The third technology, which we are embracing, enhancing, is a dried technology using supersonic waves in order to eliminate the microbiological load of any fruit or vegetable. So basically, a product, let's say you're going to have okra or squash, and this will go through a conveyor through ultrasonic blast, and this blast will then eliminate the microbiological load. And even further, based on amplitude or frequency modulation, the water activity will be reduced, and in fact, the product itself can be pulverized into a very small powder. So in one pass, for example, if you have a squash or okra or a mango or anything like this, you can pass it through, eliminate the water activity, eliminate the bacterial load, and pulverize it into a very fine powder, 10 to 20 microns, all throughout one pass. So these are our three technologies. These are the technologies that require lots of detail, and we can talk about that at any other time. So here's some pictures we're talking about. The bottom left is our sonic technology. Top left is the UHT. Top right is the IQF. The reason we're able to be successful is that we place our factories near the areas where the produce is grown. Here in the Philippines, that has always been a problem. Because here in the Philippines, if you're going to place a factory where the coconut grows or the mango grows, you're not in the cities, you're in an area which has very bad water, very bad power, and people are dumping any of their waste into the oceans. Yes, it happens exactly like that. So what we have is a technology, an energy technology, which allows us to be off-grid, produce as much power as we need, as much water as we need, as much steam as we need, and all the while it eats up all of our effluent waste, can eat up solid waste, can eat up sewage water, can eat up river or seawater, and create this wonderful power and fresh water. And that's what this utilities complex is. I'm going to go into, because this is a water show, I'm going to go into a little bit more about water. This is somewhere I would not normally go, but we're going to talk a little bit about the water production. As our system gobbles up effluent waste or solid waste, but for this, let's say it's effluent waste, sewage, river water, seawater, even in relatively low amounts, we're able to run this effluent waste through a plasma field. This is a plasma gasification technology. We are able to run it through a plasma field at about 9,000 degrees C. Say, all right, 9,000 degrees C, that seems pretty hot. At 4,900 or so degrees C, Mr. Madhukar, you said before about carbon sequestration. At 4,900 degrees C, all carbon, as we all know it, everything around us now, our table, our computer, everything else, is completely sequestered and eliminated. At 9,000 degrees C, there's only three things that remain. Hydrogen, oxygen, and energy. These three things at 9,000 degrees, hydrogen, oxygen, and energy, can then be recombined in many different ways. We all know chemistry 101, hydrogen and oxygen with an energy catalyst creates water. Well, there are many different kinds of waters that we can create in a reformer, right? We can create 5, 6, 7-sided molecule water. We can create water with almost any pH level. We can create oxygenated water, hydrogenated water, many different waters. Water for municipal use, which mineralization could be added to. We can create water for bottling, which is exclusive and intricate. We can create medical grade water. When you pass your effluents through the plasma field at 9,000 degrees, and you get hydrogen and oxygen. You get no other minerals. Everything else has been sequestered. So when you reform this hydrogen and oxygen to make a water, you have a mineral-free water, a recombined, potable, drinkable, extremely clear water. Not purified, not filtered, but recombining the hydrogen and the oxygen ions. That's it. Our systems, in fact, our systems are very modular, and they can run, they can scale based on the power requirements. But for example, a 280 megawatt system, which is larger than we need for our project, but a 280 megawatt system can provide about 10 million gallons per day of fresh recombined water. So Mr. MANOCHA, you talked about South Africa. We talked about there's water crisis all over Africa. There's water crisis all over the world. The systems that we have available to create the power, to eliminate the waste, can create copious amounts of water for these communities. And again, we can all talk about, cleaning and filtering. We can talk about reverse osmosis, many other things. This does nothing like that. This is able to take any effluent source, create fresh, clean water in any location, and it's available now at scale. Here's the project. Here it is. Our project takes in the effluent waste. It creates power. This power is scalable in our units from say 5 or 10 megawatts up to 50 on a very smaller unit. And even our larger units can go up to about 280 megawatts. We have systems right now that we're putting in that put in multiple 280 megawatt units, even up to 1.6 gigawatt unit that we're putting in now in the United States. So this system is now, it's available, it's live, it can be seen. For our own purposes, in our project, as you may see here to the top right, I have this little red cube here. Our estate is now being powered by this plasma gasification system, where we have clean green energy. Remember, all carbon is sequestered. So our clean green energy is 0 CO2 emissions, 0 greenhouse gases, no additional waste. It eats up all of the effluents waste, all of the solid waste, and creates only water vapor, steam, and pure clean water. Currently, we're developing about 8 of these estate projects, mostly in the Philippines, also in Africa, Indonesia, and it's looking like India is very close as well. So we have partners with Japanese companies. We have partners with American companies. We have partners here in the Philippines in order to invest. We are not necessarily looking for investors at this point. Most of all of our investment has already been accounted for. So for new projects, we can certainly look at different investors who want to come into this. And as we said here, this project meets, it's an impact project. It meets the UN Sustainable Development Goals, all 12 Sustainable Development Goals. We are able to transfer wealth back to the farmers because of our creation of high value goods. Our goal is to uplift the communities and uplift the farmers. These are some of our projects now here, both in the Philippines, Africa. Right. Our company, New Agri Asia, is an agri-tech company. We have 45 intellectual properties, which we have registered and copyrighted in order to preserve, maintain, and process coconut and other fruits, tropical fruits here in the Philippines. So it is between these IP and our exclusive representation of technologies and processes that we're able to build these plants and make this product happen, this process happen. And I think in the interest of time, this should end my presentation. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
Thank you, Dan, for sharing your thoughts on agri-business. In case we have to summarize, we will say that most of your projects, you are having a humanitarian angle. You are also a conservation angle where you conserve all the natural resources, food, water, energy, and also you help in increasing the wealth of farmers and helping.
Yes, sir.
And while doing so, we support the society in saving the wastage of fruits, saving the crop, and which indirectly helps in improving the agriculture efficiency. So we take these important takes from you. We will, personally, I am not an expert in agri field, but I will take these takes and then probably hand over the floor to Gulshan ji in case we have some questions from the participants or something to be talked about, or what you set the direction for next action, and then we can dwell upon later. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yes, Gulshan.
Thank you, MANOCHA ji. In fact, my deepest regards and gratitudes and thanks to both the speakers, and of course, you are the moderator. It's your show, it's your baby, it's your program. And today, my sincere apologies once again that we started a little late, which I couldn't help. But there's an active participation, there's enormous participation. I'm getting a lot of inputs from overseas, from my advisors, from my research team, some of my presidents from different places and all that. We would require little time to assimilate what all we have gathered today. And I think during a week or so, we will put everything into perspective. And thereafter, we give the shape to the entire thing. And you have already given that next 8 programs, if you would like to, because some of the people missed it initially when you mentioned that how subsequently next week what you're bringing, then what you're bringing, how you're bringing. So something, you shared, and some of the people, maximum people have posted me, they were keen about Israel also. So I said, okay, I will let you know what all he has mentioned. So if you want to just recapitulate on that for a minute and give some perspective, that subsequently, what have you lined up? So that's going to help quite a bit to the people, those are asking me.
Okay.
It will make my life little easy.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Gulshan ji, for your observations. Probably what we intend to share in the weeks to come, we will bring the concepts of food, energy, food, water, energy nexus. And next speaker which you are lined up is a gentleman, he's a professional from India, a public sector company, a consulting company who is consulting across the globe and working in the area of water, food, energy, and they are also actively working in irrigation sector. So we will be touching upon the concept of food energy in the next presentation. Also, we will be sharing concepts how Singapore as a country which has no source of water, and when Singapore got independence in 60s, 100% of water was imported from Malaysia, and today Singapore produces 70% of the water for in-house consumption. How they are doing it? So that was a water policy interface. So we will be having a speaker. I have to set the time with the speaker when he or she can come, but that will happen somewhere in first week of November. The next speaker will be talking on food, water, energy. The speaker on 6th November will be talking on waterways. See, India is having a lot of rivers. India is having a lot of lakes. India is having a lot of tributaries. How we can make use of them efficiently. So I have a gentleman who is a Arjuna Award winner, who is a marine engineer, and he will be talking about waterways in northeast of India. He will be talking about how you can take benefit of lakes in Rajasthan, certain parts of Rajasthan, and he
Wow.
also will be talking about how we can use canals in Punjab. So we
One,
will be having different aspect to water, that is on transportation and recreation. So we are
wonderful.
bringing that aspects because we thought we'll have a mix of experience to all our viewers. We will also be sharing how Israel transformed, and it is sure on technology. Israel was a water-starved nation. If you see, 60% of Israel is deserts, and today they have sufficient water. They export water. They are exporting technology to India. They are exporting food. So how they did that? So we will figure out some a speaker who can talk on that. So we are in a process. We will be also talking on circular economy. Madhukar has talked an aspect of ecology, which is very important for us. We also will be dwelling on other ways, how we can talk about circular economy and see how the process goes. And I will be open to discussions from my participants, what they want, so that we can pull in the right type of resources. We will be also sharing experience of countries which are below sea level. If you look at Denmark, the city is below sea level, how they are managing the water business. So we will be having those type of people. We will be having people who will talk about technologies. We'll be having people who will talk about rural technologies in India. We'll be getting some speakers who will focus only on technologies which are applicable. So our forum will be different than what Jal Shakti and other people are doing because they are talking mega things. So we will be addressing local issues. Somebody
One,
will talk about issues in Northeast. Somebody will talk about issues in Punjab. So we are in a process of collecting all the resources and the wealth of people so that we can bring the right type of people to our audiences. And it will be more than welcome to listen, to hear from the audiences what they want, so that we can articulate our next presentations. Thank
wonderful.
you.
Wonderful. Thank you. In fact, lots of praises have come. Due to the paucity of time, if we can take one quick question. This gentleman is a principal in one of the colleges in Punjab, and he writes, Mr. Arun Garg, my question is how water is formed in nature. How water is formed in nature. I know with union of hydrogen and oxygen. I want to know where it is formed exactly, under which condition it is formed. So Madhukaji is smiling and laughing. So let's see, Manocha ji, because he is a principal and very interesting. He has put it out. He says, I know it is formed there, but I just want to know where exactly. I want to know where it is formed and under which conditions. So,
Madhukar, can you like to take this question?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Sure. Thank you.
see, as I said, there are five key sources of life on this planet,
yeah,
and these sources are created in nature. If you're talking about how and where water is formed, water is not something which is uh, kind of result of a chemical reaction in a laboratory. Otherwise, instead of installing a RO plant in our homes, we would have installed electrolysis plants in our homes. Everybody would have got water. But water is not just merely H2O. Water is way beyond that. There are plenty of researches which have happened in understanding of nature, like there is Jacques Benveniste from France, who talked and who did the experiment in memory of water. There is one Mr. Marasu Imoto from Japan, who did an experiment into the water crystal, wherein he recorded that water has got a stimulus to the environment. There is Dr. Luc Montagnier, who's a Nobel laureate, who conducted the entire experiment in front of the camera and proved it that water can listen, water can memorize, and water can respond to what it is listening. What he did was a wonderful experiment wherein he uh, put a DNA of a HIV virus into a test tube, diluted it 24 times, and then recorded the radiation which was coming out of the 24th test tube. So 24 dilution is like one drop in an ocean. And then this entire experiment was conducted wherein the radiation coming out of it, out of this 24th test tube was recorded as a wave file sent from Paris to Milan, Italy, wherein there was another set of researchers who downloaded that wave file and took tap water from Milan and made this new water listen to the wave file which had come in from Paris. And then the entire DNA of the HIV virus was recreated in Milan, which means water could listen, water could generate wave sounds, and water could memorize to recreate that DNA material, right? So all this is conducted over the camera, and this entire experiment is there available on YouTube. So water is not just a substance which can be created. You need to understand the complete hydrology. What we teach in our schools is a water cycle, which is like water coming in from rivers and going to the oceans, and from there the evaporation is happening, then clouds are being formed, and again the clouds are raining. But if you actually look at it, this entire model says river is the source of water to the ocean. Now, if you get into the oceanography study, you will come to know that when the surface water, which as per this model is the source of water to the ocean, when this river dries, the sea level goes up, which is absolutely against this theory. Because if the source is drying, the destination should go low. Why is it going up? So what people don't understand is basically just a hypothesis. What we see is what we are creating a theory out of. There are underground rivers also. And water is all connected, whether it is in the river or whether it is in the ocean or whether it is underground aquifer. Water is all connected everywhere. I told you, if there is no soil moisture, we cannot grow even a single crop. If there is no air moisture, we cannot breathe. We will all get suffocated to death. So water is everywhere. It is not a substance which is getting created and getting finished. Yes, there is an ecology, like everything has got a cycle. There is a carbon cycle, there is a nitrogen cycle, there is a phosphorus cycle. Like we all Indians believe in the cyclic form of time. You know, there was Satyug, there was Treta, there was Dwapar, there was Kalyug, and again Satyug will come. That is why our concept of life is also cyclic, Punarjanam. Why is it coming? Because we are all taking inspiration from nature. If the nature is cyclic in nature, in by the process, that is why everything is cyclic. So water is traveling from water to air to soil and then coming back to water. Similarly, like carbon is generated in soil. From soil, it goes to the terrestrial life. From there, it goes to atmosphere, and then again sequestration is happened through water, and it comes back to the soil. So it is all cyclic. Like we study in science that nothing is created nor created nor destroyed, just changes the form. Similarly, water goes like that. So water is what it was, is now, and will be. It is the same water which is circulating in cycles, and it is not produced anywhere.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. In fact, Mr. Dan Barron and our Madhukar Swambuji, and also my friend, our resource person and our main person, Anil MANOCHA ji. It was a wonderful deliberation. And let me just plead, because nowadays you plead to the technology team. Try
We are lost, you will change it.
for 2 minutes. Arushi, Nishank Pant ji try it out if you succeed, because technical people, they never get defeated, they always win. That's the way we have to encourage, and we have to pump all of you, then only the things move. So I would request you, if you can play it for 2 minutes, because madam is watching it all the way from a far place, and she says let's try it out, and tell Mr. Ajay Kundal to try once again as a final trial. If we succeed, we will feel we have succeeded. If we don't succeed, we will still bless you, no problem. You try it out. Okay? But I don't give you more than 30 seconds. अब मैं आपके कहने पे, जैसा आप कहेंगे, मैं शेयर पे क्लिक करता हूं. एक सेकेंड, मैं शेयर पे गया, मैंने शेयर पे क्लिक किया. अब क्या करना है? अभी मुझे कहीं वीडियो नजर नहीं आ रही है यहां पर. मैं शेयर कहां से करूं? हाँ, अभी देखिए, ऑडियो नहीं आया. आपका ऑडियो नहीं आया. Arushi Nishank Pantji tried her level best to reach out today. All of us, in spite of such a difficult terrain, such a difficult place where she was, she stopped for a while and she recorded this video, and from there she started again. But still, Ajay ji, you couldn't give me the sound. Ajay ji, there is no sound. So I'm extremely, extremely sorry, Arushi ji, because you are highly dependent on technical people. By the time professionals learn technical anecdotes, till that time, they got to depend on these people. You can't manage without that. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, with these words, we close today's first inaugural session. I know there are water crises. I know there is a water shortage. And I know when we are passing through the crisis, there are critical technical crises also. But well, we will overcome that. And one fine morning, पुनः से भारत, once again विश्व गुरु भी बनेगा. यहाँ पर ऑडियो भी ठीक होगा, यहाँ पर वीडियो भी ठीक होगा. जो टेक्निकल लोगों की मोनोपोली है वो भी खत्म होगी, और जनता तक सारी चीजें पहुंचेंगी, और हर एक के पास सब कुछ होगा जब आप कुछ लोगों पर ही आश्रित या निर्भर नहीं होंगे, और आप अपने आप से सब चीजों को मैनेज कर पाएंगे. सो आई वेट फॉर दैट फाइन डे. वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी. सो लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, today I close this particular session because I got to come live at 7:30 again, because there's another team waiting from Finland, Sweden, and United States to join for the next program. There's a non-resident Indians. Those are going to discuss about the new education policy 2020. And the topic is holistic higher education for Atmanirbhar Bharat. That starts in next 18 minutes at 7:30. So my deepest regards and thanks to my friend, my guide, my philosopher, Mr. Anil MANOCHA ji, all the way from Singapore. My great thanks to Mr. Dan Barron. I will quote you now from Philippines. And my also great thanks to Madhukar Swambhu ji. आप पानी बचाने के लिए जितनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं, उतने ही आप हंसमुख भी हैं, आप मुस्कुराते भी हैं. आपने पानी को एक जगह से चलाया और पूरा घुमा फिरा के पूरे संसार से दोबारा फिर पानी में ले गए, और आपने कहा जल से ही जीवन है, और जल की सुरक्षा ही जीवन है, और जल को बचाना है, पानी की एक एक बूंद को बचाना है. वैदिक साइंस की भी आपने बहुत सारी बातचीत की, एंड रिसेशन फ्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बातचीत की, वाटर डिके प्रोसेस की बातचीत की, नेचुरल इकोलॉजी की बातचीत की, और सबसे बढ़िया बात है कि जो आपकी ये काउनोनॉमिक्स है, वो रूरल अर्बन ये सब चीजों को मिला के Anil MANOCHA ji very innovatively in the first program brought you so that people get connected somewhere with the Vedic science and get connected with the cosmos, and at the same time the research and the development with the Vedic economics, we get closer somewhere over here. So ladies and gentlemen, with these words, my great thanks, deep thanks to all of you, and even to thanks to those people who could not play video and who could not give me voice, who could not give me sound. Even God bless you also and give you a wisdom that next time you try 4 times before you go for actual program, because I come from the armed forces and I always used to wonder why it happens that before the GOCs goes for the dinner, there is a motorcycle which goes in advance, because that motorcycle wala goes and he sees where is the house where finally the General Saab has to go for the dinner. So that's what I would like to tell these soldiers also. Although you have not done a good job, but still God should bless you. Whatsoever God can send the blessings and the wisdom to you, each one of us, we have to be professional in our own areas. Time management is also very, very important, which we all have to understand. So with a folding hand, thank you very much. It was wonderful to have all of you. And MANOCHA Saab, in case if there was any kind of a technical glitches, I as a captain of the ship, I apologize from everybody, to my audience also, and to everybody, and even to my team also, because I could not equip them properly, timely. Somewhere in my management, there were shortcomings. So as a good leader, I should take on the responsibility for all the shortcomings. And anything good which has happened during this program, the credit goes to the entire backup team, because people always say hero and heroine in the front, but they don't see how many people have put in the efforts to put up that particular stage. So my blessings to everybody, and my deepest thanks to my audience, those joined us from the world over. So I can only finally say green morning, green afternoon, and green evening. If you'll save trees, if you will save nature, if you will respect nature, don't consider yourself separate from nature. We are the integral part of nature. We got to save everything, not only water. We are going to talk on the water in this series, but with water, we got to respect birds also, animal species also, and any insect, minute possible insect also, which is existing on this planet. प्रकृति ने उसको बनाया है और वो हमारे पूरे सिस्टम का एक हिस्सा है. So ladies and gentlemen, with these words, wishing you all a green morning, green afternoon, and green evening. Thank you very much for joining us from the world over. Look forward meeting you. I hope 5 p.m. next Friday for the water resources management. And now it is 7:17. After 13 minutes, let's travel together to Finland, Sweden, and United States, and where we are going to talk about the new education policy.